Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I got a new piece today. An analyst is saying that Bitcoin is going to go to $50,000 each by 2021. How about that for bullish? And can you imagine what that price would mean for XRP? Because I insist that XRP price is still tethered to Bitcoin, as is every other cryptocurrency. You can see long periods of time where maybe it doesn't appear to be so, but you zoom out enough on a chart and absolutely becomes crystal clear XRP is tethered to Bitcoin price action. So that would be staggering. And I think it's eventually going to get there, actually. So I think it's a fun thing to talk about. So I'll cover that in this video. Also want to share with you a cool Twitter thread. It has to do, again, this keeps coming up. I know it's been in the news lately. It's about XRP. Is it a security? Is it not a security? I got a cool Twitter thread where somebody firmly answers no, and I'll show you exactly why. I've also got a piece here. I'll just read the title for you now. This is from Daily Hodl. BBC journalist warns crypto traders after losing $30,000 in critical mistakes. So I'm going to share that with you, and especially as we're entering bull territory, I think we're at the beginning of a bull market. It's worth being aware of what is covered in this piece. I'm going to cover that towards the end of the video, though. Now, before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, my friends, you've come to the right place. Go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. Does a body good. All right, so check this out. In a Twitter thread published on Saturday, August 17th, 2019, Kruger, this is Alex Kruger, outlined his argument for the Bitcoin price going as high as $50,000 by 2021 at the latest. According to Kruger, there is a far greater weight of positive driving factors than any negative headwinds that could adversely impact the Bitcoin price trajectory. An excerpt from the thread reads, "Bigger picture, the upside, in my opinion, considerably larger than the downside. Think Bitcoin will eventually break through 20,000 in 2020 or 2021, and once it does, it should trade $30,000, $40,000, and $50,000 fast. Must be long for when that happens and enjoy the ride as others FOMO in." And that, look, seriously, I don't know if any of you think that's a silly prediction, but this is conceptually different numbers. This is exactly what happened at the end of 2017. It did go up. Nobody thought that was going to happen at the beginning of 2017. What was Bitcoin in 2017? It was like $1,000, I think, somewhere around there when it started. And XRP was at like half a cent. And then by the end of the year, you've got like $20,000 Bitcoin. Nobody thought that was going to happen. But it got to a certain point where the parabolic shift upwards, it was unstoppable. And if you look at the major run-ups and then ultimate drops, because there have been like, 4 or 5, 80 to 90% drops in the 10-year history of Bitcoin. If you look at all that stuff, you know, the run-ups, my gosh, they happened quick. They happened very quickly. That's one of those things where you're like, well, that escalated quickly, didn't it? Yes, indeed it did. And so, to me, it's always just a matter of time. And I do look forward to the day, I gotta say, I do look forward to the day where one day XRP is no longer tethered to Bitcoin in terms of price action. And you know when I think that might happen? I'm not going to put a timestamp on it, but I think what's going to happen is eventually XRP will overtake Bitcoin in market cap. And you know the reason I say that, though, and I don't care if it's far off into the future, it's going to happen at some point. If I'm right, if my investment thesis is right and utility matters, XRP will end up number one in market cap, and it will supplant Bitcoin to take that position. I think it's coming anyway. You can tell me what you think. I like diversity of thought, so feel free to drop a comment below. Anyway, piece continues. Currently, the Bitcoin price is under resistance in the region above the mid $10,000 level. Thus, the top-ranked crypto has appeared range-bound between $9,000 and $12,000. Kruger also addressed the debate about a possible Bitcoin price slide to $8,500, the midway point of the current 2019 performance. Some commentators point to the unfilled CME futures gap at this price level as an indication of a likely retracement. For Kruger, filing the CME gaps isn't a given, pointing to the absence of significant support or resistance as such price levels. Furthermore, the focus on unfilled gaps often takes away from the non-stop trading activities occurring in the spot market. However, if Bitcoin falls below $9,000, there's a very likelihood of a steep fall to $8,500 to the $8,500 price mark, according to Kruger. Any further downward slide should be taken as a gift, a buying opportunity in preparation to a slingshot advance beyond the current 2019 high. And I would look at it the same way. I'm a super long-term guy, and I understand if this happens, it probably means XRP could go even lower temporarily, but ultimately, we gonna be on the moon with our Lambos. Maybe one day, right? I don't know. Oh, God, I have the stupidest name in the entire XRP community. Moon Lambo? Really? Yes, really. Anyway, while the signs appear bullish for Bitcoin in the long term, Kruger believes that there are significant headwinds for Bitcoin. The profitability for miners remains high as long as the Bitcoin price performance remains positive. Thus, it wouldn't be unusual for miners to hodl not just only profits, but revenue to be plugged into cover the cost of running nodes. However, this profitability encourages the influx of more miners, which in turn raises the hash rate and extension difficulty. More miners in a bull market often mean lower profit margins, so participants aren't hodling as much as before. So what do you think, boys and girls? Where are we heading? Are we going to hit $50,000 in Bitcoin? And more importantly, if that happens in 2021, as this individual believes will be the case, what does that mean for XRP? Drop a comment below. Check out this thread. Somebody named Philip Liu, I guess that's how you say it, wrote this. I speculate that the SEC isn't going after Ripple for issuing unregistered securities XRP yet, because the private action lets the SEC have their cake and eat it too. Someone else makes their arguments in federal court, and they, the SEC, supply the plaintiffs ammunition. Well, Mr. H was all over this. He is on Twitter, at Mr_HVD, wrote this. Who on earth made you believe that the SEC is against XRP and looking for ways to turn them into a security? Are you insane? They absolutely do not want this, and turning a crypto into a security doesn't mean money for them, so what's the drive for them to do this? Use your brains. Have you even remotely studied the Dow case? What is the job of the SEC again? Crazy thought. Imagine you are right. Just picture the size and outcome of such operation, and realize the SEC has a budget and a goal, and they would give up both to isolate the U.S. for what? Continue. The second anything would happen, Ripple can pack their operations and move to another country in a heartbeat, while the SEC will be stuck with the paperwork plus fights with all exchanges and customers using XRP. The next 10 years will be lawsuits against the SEC, not XRP. There are about at least 10 to 20 different companies around the world using XRP in their products, and millions of customers that have used it or will use it. What do they tell them? And who does the SEC protect? Scared Bitcoin investors? I seriously question your intelligence. Is he verified? I can call myself president of the moon on my Twitter page. Would you believe that? He's following an extremely logical thought indicating he didn't read a single word of anything related to the SEC and crypto space, so I'm not buying his ignorant speculation. Damn, Mr. H, tell me what you really think. I thought that was a solid response, though. That was really solid, Mr. H. Bravo. A round of applause indeed. Yeah, the whole thing's completely nonsensical. It's not happening. XRP is not a security, and this is just another awesome rebuttal to this type of these types of statements. And I had to share it with you. It's one of those things where I was just reading through it. I'm like, bravo! I want to cheer on Mr. H, just slapping this nonsense down. All right, next piece here. I thought this was cool. Wanted to share this with you. This is by somebody named Corey Friends, and wrote, so I connected my website, YouTube, and posted as well in Coil, and have already received some XRP micropayments. This is so cool. I have never felt so excited to create more awesome content. And to test, now I have never sent a tip via my tip bot. And then he sent one out there. And I just think that's the coolest freaking thing. And so that was to Green Eggs and Ham. That would be Sam. I'm sure a lot of you in the XRP community are familiar. And he wrote, welcome to the future of payments. No doubt. Here we are. I just think it's the coolest stuff in the world. And by the way, can I just say, the XRP tip bot, talk about genuine utility. Who would have? This is fundamentally changing the way that people behave on Twitter, at least within the XRP community. I can see this expanding. It's just anytime somebody wants to show appreciation, you can move real value instantaneously, and it can be little bits. That's perfectly fine. It's to show it's a gesture of appreciation, and sometimes it's bigger amounts. But you can actually move real value instantaneously to whoever you want. It's the coolest freaking thing, and it's changing the way people behave. That is real utility. Even that's enough reason for cryptocurrencies to exist. This is amazing stuff here. All right, next tweet here. I just thought this looked awesome. It kind of made me smile. It's a Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse holding up a pair of socks with his face on them. So if you are not driving, feel free to take a look at the screen. But if you are driving, hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel, motorist. I don't want you crashing. It looks just like him, doesn't it? Indeed. I thought this is funny too. So you've got what's her name, Christine Lagarde, and you've got Bob Way, former Ripple employee, and somebody named Planet XRP, who I just followed. I did hit follow, didn't I? Yeah, I just followed them tonight because they had a few tweets that I've shared with it, and I thought they were cool. I was like, oh, okay, maybe you put up some good stuff. I'm going to follow you. So you got a picture, got a little birdie on the shoulder. And Bob Way got a little birdie on the shoulder. And I watched Bob Way. It was a live stream. Oh, which one was it? It was one of the live streams. And that damn bird, like, nothing against the bird. I like birds. But he has a pet bird. And it just kept, like, squawking. And it was cracking me up, actually. Because Bob had to get up and keep trying to quiet down the bird. At one point, he had the bird on his shoulder during the live stream. It was a whole thing, though. So it's cool. Anyway, next year. Check this out. This is also from Planet XRP. All right, it's waiting for Face Melt 2.0. XRP, it's going to be epic. And he's got a couple screen captures here. And this has to do with what I was saying earlier in the video. That's the reason I wanted to share it, because I believe XRP will be #1 in market cap one day based on utility. So you got to wait for the maturation of the asset class and for people to figure out why the hell they're investing in any of these coins in the first place, other than just gambling. So Crypto Bitlord, this is a tweet, I remember when this was original, wrote, when XRP flips Bitcoin, just remember you are a part of history. And somebody named Big Cheds responded, the worst part is some people will think you are serious. To which Crypto Bitlord responded, no, the best part is you think I'm still joking. And by the way, this is the guy, and this is what I'm telling you, like, he is a pro XRP guy. He has an XRP tattoo, this Crypto Bitlord guy. That's why he likes to troll, though. I had a whole video on this where he created a change.org position to try and get Ripple to stop selling their XRP because it's suppressing price, which is completely hilarious and bogus. But yeah, so that's the guy we're talking about here. All right, last piece here. This is from dailyhodl.com. BBC journalist warns crypto traders after losing $30,000 in critical mistake. A BBC journalist is sharing his story on how he lost $30,000 in Ethereum in an effort to try and educate crypto newbies. Business reporter, that's gotta hurt, by the way. Business reporter Monty Munford says he decided to buy the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap in mid-2017. And here's a quote. I chose it not for any other reason than it was second to Bitcoin by valuation and looked like it could emulate that 100,000% rise. So in the middle of 2017, I made some investments figuring that it was a long-term plan and might even become a nest egg for a pension. Munford says the experience was utterly terrifying. And after buying his Ethereum, he read about the frequency of crypto exchange hacks and decided to move his crypto to a wallet for safekeeping. He chose MyEther wallet and obtained the private key to his holdings, the string of letters and numbers he needed to access his crypto. But then came the crucial mistake. Munford says he wrote the privacy key on a piece of paper and stored it in his Gmail drafts folder so that he could access his crypto with ease. When the price of Ethereum shot up in late 2017, he decided to check his holdings, only to discover that all of his crypto had been moved to another address. Munford contacted the United States-based blockchain forensics company Cyberblade and sent results to Binance. And here's a quote. The following morning, I was contacted by Sussex Cybercrime Unit, my local force, and within a week they had received useful information from Binance. The unit tracked IP addresses to a telecoms company in the Netherlands, but there weren't any personal identification details to be had, perhaps unsurprisingly. The investigations continue, and my money remains stolen. Crypto thieves likely used a phishing scam to access Munford's email or used malware to gain access to his computer, monitor his keystrokes, and copy/paste his activities. Either way, Munford says he's telling his story to others, to let others know how careful they need to be with their private keys. And here's a quote. "So I'm left with my fingers burned, feeling like I wandered into a savage bazaar where criminals can pick your pocket at will and get away with it. Please learn from my mistakes." Heed the warning, everybody. Seriously, definitely. Of course, also don't keep your crypto on exchanges. That's not a good idea either. But yeah, keep your private keys private. I would never have a private key in my email. Never, ever, 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 ever. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!